when I first got into the business, my parents listed their house and they didn't call me.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that hurt.
I bet.
It was like, Mom, Dad, what do you mean you're selling your house and I don't get the deal?
Yeah. How did you react to it?
I was a little bit, a little bit salty about it. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
luckily for me,
There's over 200,000 realtors in California alone, which is like the second most competitive state after Florida, which is crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's like there's 600 homes in my neighborhood and there's probably like 25 agents that live in here. And we're all, we're all competing for the same slice of the pie. And some people say, like, if you're not related to a realtor or you don't know a realtor, there's something wrong with you if you're out here. Relationships are key. I mean, you're not going to just come into this market with no relationships and be able to, get listings and make sales. So you have to get yourself within the community and tie yourself in and show that you're a valuable asset and that, you're likable and that you're doing positive things to help the community. Without those relationships, you're just not going to be able to make it here. So I've been doing this since 2007 out here. I've seen a lot of agents come and go.
What will be your number one advice for someone like trying to crack this market? Or if you had to go back in time and give you an advice to yourself when you first started out, what would that be?
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. This is exactly how to succeed in Thousand Oaks, California, in this market as a real estate agent. Today, we'll talk about what it takes to become successful as quickly as possible if you're a realtor in it. Welcome, Josh.
Hey, how you doing, Mikael? Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks to you. So yeah, let's get right into it. So first, can you talk about, how's your market different from the rest of like the country and what this means for realtors exactly trying to succeed in it?
So the average sales price in my market in Thousand Oaks and Westlake Village is probably significantly higher than the rest of the country. In the United States, I think the average, is like around $400,000 or $500,000. We're all in Thousand Oaks and Westlake Village. Our sales price is well over like $1 million, 1.5. I think the largest sale 2 years ago was $35 million. So we do have some areas that are known as luxury markets. There's quite a bit of celebrities out here, and that's kind of what separates us.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the good point. Like here, like the median home price is like way higher. So it's a different ballgame the way you approach things. Now, how does that affect realtors? Like, is it harder to get in real estate? Is it like once you're in it, is it like, easy and, just like in any other market? As the market's slower, is it like, does it take longer to sell properties? Like, what does that mean exactly?
So
to you or to the realtors?
It's ultra competitive because the commissions, obviously they're higher, right? So relationships are key. I mean, you're not going to just come into this market with no relationships and be able to, get listings and make sales. So you have to get yourself within the community and tie yourself in and show that you're a valuable asset and that, you're likable and that you're doing positive things to help the community. Without those relationships, you're just not going to be able to make it here. So I've been doing this since 2007 out here. I've seen a lot of agents come and go.
Yeah.
A lot of people from that have been successful in different industries and different businesses. And they come in and I'm going to make $1 million my first year. And 3 months later, they're like, they tap out. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
now I was reading a stat like yesterday actually about the fact that there's over 200,000 realtors in California alone, which is like the second most competitive state after Florida, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. It's like there's 600 homes in my neighborhood and there's probably like 25 agents that live in here. And we're all competing for the same, slice of the pie. And some people say, like, if you're not related to a realtor or you don't know a realtor, there's something wrong with you if you're out here.
Yeah, I was like talking to, other realtors in California that were telling me like, hey, like, you either have like a cousin that's a realtor or a friend. Like,
yes,
for sure. So how do you go about, because like, let's say, most of these homeowners think about selling, like, let's say they have a cousin or a friend, like, how do you make sure you get their business? Is it even possible? Like, or like, do you just stay in your circle? Like you're, like you were saying, like you build relationships, you get involved in the community. So are you always like transacting with like these people, or is it like possible to get out of your circle, your sphere of influence, and get like new business from quote unquote strangers that, you've never met before?
No, it's Mikael, it's absolutely possible because I'm sure you know the stats, like 80% of realtors do between 0 and 2 deals a year. So the odds are that when you run into somebody that says, oh, my aunt's a realtor or my best friend's a realtor, they're probably one of those agents that does 0 to 2 deals a year. And
Right.
then, when it comes down to it and it's time for them to sell their house and buy a new house and it's the largest investment they've ever made in their life, are they really going to trust, cousin Charlie with that transaction out here? Because like I said, in my market, the prices are high. This is high dollar real estate. So that when they see, somebody like me or somebody else that's been in the industry out here for 20 years and they have 15, 20, 30, 50 sales a year in this little town, there's only like 130,000 people out here. And when they see that, they kind of just, don't let their cousin or their aunt know that they're about to sell. And then the next thing you know, they're calling us for the listing appointment.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that backfires in the family afterwards. Hey, like you didn't list with me. What's going on? You know what I mean?
Well, when I got to be honest with you, when I first got into the business, my parents listed their house and they didn't call me.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that hurt.
I bet.
It was like, Mom, Dad, what do you mean you're selling your house and I don't get the deal?
Yeah. How did you react to it?
I was a little bit, a little bit salty about it. I got to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
luckily for me, the guy that they picked wasn't able to get it done. And I said, are you
Uh,
going to let me get a crack at it or what? And then they gave me the deal, the second
yeah.
chance, and then
Yeah.
I got it sold.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Was that your first ever your deal ever or what?
That was my second deal ever.
Your second deal? Okay.
Second deal.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice. Did you know they were like about to sell before you actually got your license or no?
No, I had no idea.
No. Okay. So just
Yeah.
like a good timing.
It just
Yeah.
kind of worked out that way, but it was a little bit uncomfortable to find out they weren't going to list with me.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, cool. So let's talk about like what do you think in your market, right? In Thousand Oaks, what and the surroundings, like what would you say is like the number one skill realtors need to succeed?
The number one skill. Wow,
Yeah.
because we do so many things. Okay, number one skill, you need to list or you won't last out here. If you don't get listings out here, you're not going to last. I mean, you got to get your sign up and people got to know you because it's a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
so
it. So just trying to get listings basically, right?
it's essential that you spend, if you've got 10 things to do that day, 8 of them better be prospecting, trying to get listings.
Yeah. All right. So prospecting to try to get listings. Perfect. And then just I know, like you said, like, realtors like wear so many different hats, right? And
Right.
you could get like sidetracked really easily. Yourself specifically, are you doing something every day to ensure like you're spending time prospecting? Like, are you like blocking out 2 hours in your morning or like, I don't know if you read the book, like the one thing by Gary Keller, but like, do you like, just block out this and you make sure you do it first thing in the morning or like, how do you make sure you spend time like prospecting to get new listings?
Yeah, I do. I have a list of a few essential things that I do Monday through Friday that are in my prospecting list. I make sure that I'm reaching out to my sphere. I have two different databases that I work from. I have my inner circle and then I have a bigger database. My inner circle is basically what most people would refer to as their sphere of influence.
Yeah.
I have those people graded as A pluses, A's, B's, C's, and D's.
Yeah.
And it's about referrals from those people. So the A pluses are people that have referred me. The A's are people that are most likely to refer me. B's are people that might refer me. And the C's are people that I think might be able to refer me, but I got to train them how to do it. And then the D's are people that I'm pretty sure won't refer me, but they're still around. So I keep in touch because eventually one day, most people want to buy or sell.
Sure. Interesting. How do you train someone to refer you?
So a lot of it is on the phone and I will call and talk about like family or recreation or just, dreams they might have, occupation, just things like that, not really real estate related because they know I'm in real estate. So eventually they're going to ask me. And then when they ask me about it and the conversation's coming to an end, I just kind of gently say, hey, by the way, if you happen to hear of anybody that's thinking about buying or selling, would you do me a favor and reach out to me and let me know about that. And then I'll follow up with them and take great care of them for you. And usually the answer is yes. But what I found is you can't just say that once, because the first time you say it, it doesn't sink in. They got to hear it like 7 to 15 times before finally, it comes to, oh God, when they talk to somebody, oh, I'm going to tell Josh about so-and-so. And, then the next thing I get a text or a call and say, hey, my friend, this and that, they're going to be looking to buy. They're moving down from out of town.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So you got to repeat it multiple times,
You got to be on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Calling them, texting them. Yeah. That's interesting. It's just like with advertising, right? Like they have to see your ad or your message or your face, 7 to 8 times, even more than that sometimes in a highly competitive market like yours, to finally be able to put their guard down and then open up to you, click on your ad and then reach out or something like this, right?
Right.
Question for you. Do you think it's important if you want to get listings in Thousand Oaks where it's a competitive market and the median home price is high, to farm, to have a geographical area where you're consistently hitting with mailers or ads or door knocking, for example, or just cold calling?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Especially out here. I mean, there's there's a group of agents, and there's maybe a segment of agents that are going for this one particular neighborhood because that particular neighborhood sells between $3 million and $15 million. And then there's one guy that's the number one. So in a market like that, it's not like homes just go on the market and sell in 30 days, because the pool of buyers looking for a house that expensive is pretty small, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times what will happen is a seller, they'll go to the number one guy, he'll put the house on the market, it'll sit there for 100 days and it won't sell. So that one will expire. They'll go to the number two agent. She'll put it up on the market. It's going to sit there for 100 days, probably not sell. They go to number three, and eventually, hopefully you can get in there and get yourself a listing appointment and explain to that person, why you think you can get it sold this time when the top 3 agents in the city couldn't get it done.
Right. And how do you go about doing that?
I'm a stats guy. So I bring stats because a lot of times people in this market, a lot of these are custom homes. It's not very easy to comp them because there's not exactly a model match for a 12,000 square foot house that was built custom by so-and-so architect in 2002. And there's only one of those out of 250 homes in that gated community, right? So a lot of times they'll say, well, my house is worth, this much money because I have this, and this, and so down the street, he sold for that much and he didn't have what I have, but maybe he had a killer view, or maybe he had some other thing and they think their house is better. So you got to come in there with stats and be like, listen, this is what the homes have sold for that are in your square footage and lot size. You don't have the view. This guy had the view. And that's why there's that 10% difference in why I think your home can actually sell for and why you didn't really have many showings at your price.
Makes sense. Got it. So once you're in front of them on the listing implement side of things, you bring stats to them and explain logically how what they've done before, the price they listed at or whatever didn't really work and why they expired, and then bring to the table hey, here's the thing you need to do now to get it sold.
Here's the homes that did sell. The homes that did sell were in this price range. Yes, your home is custom, but these are more comparable, much closer to you. And so if you price closer to this, your odds of actually selling, if you really are serious about it, are much higher.
Good point. So that's on the listing appointment, right? But final question for you, Josh, would be how do we get them on a listing appointment in the first place? Because they must be hit up all the time by different, people calling them or pretty much trying to, get their business. So how do you make sure to stand out and how to make sure to, get the listing appointment in the first place?
Well, part of it is the relationships.
Yep.
When that house goes up, then secondly, if I don't know them, I would reach out to my title rep and try to get phone numbers and get a hold of them and let them know, and hey, I sold these houses and how about you give me an opportunity and let's see what I can do, have me come in for an appointment. I'll show you why I think you can sell it at a certain price. And, let's have that conversation. It doesn't have to be anything serious. It can be casual. You don't have to sign any agreement. Don't feel obligated, but
right.
Can I get a shot to talk to you?
Right. Yeah. So no obligation, no pressure, book an appointment to see basically what you can bring to the table. Doesn't cost them anything. Yeah. Just talk about the houses that you sold before. Right. So they see
yes.
that,
yeah. So when
in this market.
Yeah, when I do show up, I'll have my book. Most agents would call it a listing presentation book,
Yep.
that your brokerage would give you. I have mine, luckily because I'm with Compass, we have great marketing advisors. So I have mine custom and I call it a seller's guide. I
Yep.
try to be a little bit more educational than salesy. And
Yep.
then along with my seller's guide, I bring another book and it has all my sales in it. So they can thumb through page by page and see, like, I sold this one for 3.4. I sold that one for 2.8. This one, they can
Nice.
see that I've sold homes that are in that bracket, in that price range, because your broker will tell you, well, it's all the same, and that's in terms of paperwork and docs. It's true, it's all the same, but it's not all the same. The door, the key that fits in the front door of a house that sells for $5 million is not a slage. It's not just a key, a lock you go and buy at Home Depot. These are different. You got to know what's going on inside that house. Like,
Yeah.
there's different stuff in there.
Let's end the interview with this question. What will be your number one advice for someone like trying to crack this market? Or if you had to go back in time and give you an advice to yourself when you first started out, what would that be?
Yeah, you need to go out there and you have to have a system. You have to really understand the system. If you're going to take one small area, get to be well known in that area, and then get to be trusted by those people. And you have to be able to get out there and get in front of people and build those relationships and show people why, they can trust you with the largest investment of their life in these $1 million homes.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, good advice. Have a system and build trust over time to like earn their business. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, it's not going to be an overnight thing out here.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, that's why like most realtors get in it and then, they think originally it's like, oh, easy money. Let me get my real estate license. And then after a few months or a year, they quit, right? You can see the stats. It's funny. Like I was looking at this yesterday, actually, with the NARS stats. You can see like at the beginning of the year, how many agents are there in California. And then at the end of the year, sometimes there's like a drop, right? You can actually see the difference.
Oh yeah.
Especially depending on the market. If it's like, a tougher market, you'll see like there's a significant drop in like the numbers of realtors that have their license. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can tell like who's in it for the long run and not.
Yeah. Oh, I see it. I mean, these are the times where, experienced agents know there's going to be a lot of attrition with the agents leaving the business. And my game plan going forward in 2023 is to be spending more than I spent last year and going hard, on community events and being an asset to my neighborhood, really, really reaching out and showing my neighborhood that I care about them. I'm one of them. And I want to see this community continue to be prosperous.
Yeah, great point. I mean, you just got to focus on what's working, right? So if this is what works in this market, let's just try to add fuel to the fire and like 10x it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome. Where can people find you online if they want to reach out and learn more about you and, your business?
So I have a YouTube channel called Josh Brenner is Living in Westlake Village. If you look on any of my videos, you'll be able to find my direct cell phone. You can call me direct. I have my Instagram on there. My Facebook page is on there. So you can message me. My email's on there. You can email me. But I love to talk. So I'd much rather hear what you have to say, because sometimes when people text, you read it and it doesn't exactly come through the way that they were hoping to. So I like people to reach out and call.
Reach out and call. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll link up your social media in the description down below with your phone number as well. So if you guys want to reach out, you can directly do so in the description below. All right, guys. So we'll wrap it up and see you guys in the next video.
Thank you, Mikael.